To the Come Out Talk Show in New York City at the Pink Palace. I hope everyone's doing great out there, and welcome to our sort of ninth show, but it's really our eighth. Okay, we have a great guest for you tonight. I've known her for a long time, and I really feel like me and her can really sit down and open up to each other, real talk style, because you know how we do it around here. This is the Come Out Talk Show. Let's get it started. Here you go, Skittles. And it is so, of course, I am hot flashing. Do not troll me about my outfit. I went from 250 pounds to however much I weigh now. And I feel great about it. And I'm not going to let none of y'all body shame me, especially you trolls that keep trolling me. Good luck with that. Comedian Lunel wants to know why no one ever asked Michael Jackson why he has white children. She's a comedian. I found it funny, and that's a good question. If you really get down to the nitty gritty. And she went on to ask this question, and from what I see, everyone took it as a joke. So what's the difference between this joke and Dave Chappelle's joke? Anybody want to chime in? Anybody?
That's a legit question.
That's a what?
It's a legit question.
You have a legit answer?
Nah, only that man can answer that. He's not here though.
Oh, well, we don't want to talk to him. Allegedly, the next story, Wendy Williams allegedly, I'll say it again, allegedly is confined to a wheelchair, and she is suffering from dementia. And this is as a result of her Graves' disease and her thyroid condition. So this was put out on the show's page, I believe, the Wendy Williams show's page, and then her family went out and released something else that stated otherwise. They said Wendy is doing just fine. She's just taking some time off. Well, don't we know she's a whore for those pictures that the paparazzi take of her. She likes that, but we have not seen any photos of her leaving her building lately. I haven't. Has anyone else? No. So something's up, Mama. We just want to know that you're okay. So say something, because your show, it was good this week. You know, Leah Remini came back and she brought Michelle Visage, but I watched the Wendy Williams show for Wendy Williams, not Wendy and Friends without the Wendy, and it's kind of putting a damper on my winter because I look forward to Wendy Williams. So just say something so we know what's going on, because we don't know you to sit quiet, Mama. Say something. But we wish you well. I hope you well, because I love you. Nicki Minaj hosted the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, and she was quite rude. But I loved it, every moment of it. You watch Real Housewives of Potomac? No!
I used to.
You used to? Do you watch any of the Real Housewives?
I haven't lately.
Which one was your favorite?
Atlanta.
Yes,
Like
mine too.
down.
Oh, did you watch the
Atlanta,
last?
and the one I wish they would bring back is Miami.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's everything.
Okay, you've given me something to watch tomorrow because
Mhm.
Sunday I binge watch TV. So thank you for that. You should check out Potomac. Scandal! One of the husbands is gay, allegedly is gay, and he touched someone's butt allegedly, and there was a whole drama, and now he wants to suck one allegedly. It's a whole bunch of drama, and it's a bunch of drama. It's a mess. And then Nikki went on to say that she might do Robin. Now, Robin is the one with the light eyes. Robin and Giselle, they're both light-skinned with pretty light eyes. And Robin's beautiful. And Robin's married to Juan, who Michael allegedly wants to suck his situation. So I'm doing good, right? Situation? You almost made me fall out of my chair for that one. And then all the ladies on that couch, they said they will perform a three-way. So it was getting quite interesting to hear these conversations on national TV. But nobody didn't have problems with them sitting there talking about their sexualities, because they were all women. And I'm disgusted by these double standards that we have. Because if that was Lil Nas X sitting there talking about how he wants to gang bang all his dancers, which I'm sure he did already, allegedly. I never heard that, but we just go say allegedly. Is he dating that? I need to know. Is he dating his backup dancer? I think they are. By now we know. They're in every video together, every movie. He's next to him dancing. And that sounds like some dating shit to me.
That's like the alleged Madonna situation.
Ooh, allegedly. Oh, speaking of Madonna, I like that picture where she was stuck under the bed with her booty. I like that picture. Because she was straight up stuck under there. Mamas could not get up. And all I saw was booty with a line down there because everybody kept blotting it out. And I was like, cool. But now she's mad at 50 Cent. This is off topic. This ain't in the notes. But since you brought it up. And she's mad at 50 Cent because 50 had something to say about the picture. Well, mama, you 50-something years old, crawling under the bed, talking about you recreating something. That ass was 50 years younger when you did it. And you slid right under and slid right out. And then now you slid under there, but you stuck. You stuck right there, boo. It's all right, Madonna. I still like you.
She just had a little bit more caboose now, that's all.
She need what?
She just had a little bit more caboose now, that's all. It comes with age.
God, come with age? Oh, Lord. Lailani, I'm going to need you to help me out. I'm going to need a doctor that can help me to not get that when I get that age. I'm going to hit you up because I know you know where to go. I know you got me.
I know
the doctor called the gym.
That'll just like get it all together.
Suck it out and put it in my cheeks. Ooh, put it in my cheeks. I would love a big cheek. So yes, there's a double standard on that. But then Candace shuts it down because Nikki came for her, went right in and said, "Can you sing live and not without auto-tune?" So Candace sang a song. She was like, "Can we sing a gospel song?" She got all shy. And then she sang. She brought the house down. So congratulations to you, Candace. And Nikki, I like you for TV. I think you should really consider a reality show because you are, if I had a choice to watch you or Cardi B, I would go for you. Because if I had a choice of Cardi B's music over yours, who we going with? You're not going to get me in trouble. Who we going with, King?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Live, come on.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a choice, I'm going with Remy music.
See, now you're being messy. You threw Remy in the mix with,
My favorite female
It's not like they watching because you know we ain't like all over America yet. But one day we'll get there.
You never know.
Right, you never know. Knocking on all the wood.
Say news trouble fast.
I'm behave myself tonight. New York City opens a safe injection site. Now, I clap for this only because there's a lot of fentanyl going around, and just because I know what's going on doesn't mean I'm doing what's going on. But since I work in this field, I need to know what's going on in the streets and who I'm servicing. And they opened this safe injection site. So basically what I know of it is that people are going to be allowed to go there and inject themselves safely with their drug of choice. And the reason why they're allowing this is because of the fentanyl cases, I guess, have gone up on the rise, and people are dying. So they don't want to allow people to just sit there and die and not give them options. You know what I mean? And I'm for this in that sense. And then people have options to sit in groups, get other services while they're there. They also have the option to get on treatment if that's what they choose. New York City has a lot of programs that use the motto, like meet you where you're at. Harm reduction. There you go. So we use the harm reduction model out here, and that makes it fair because no one, and I speak from experience, no one wants to be addicted to a drug. No one wants to live that life. No one wants to shatter all their dreams and live day in for some, week in, and live that disgusting life that it brings. And I say disgust because I don't glorify it because, like I said, I speak from experience. What experience is none of your business. And that's the problem too. A lot of people are too judgmental about somebody's past, and also let someone's past be their past because futures are bright. Maybe one day you will find that out. But I'm all for safe injection sites because it gives people a second chance to see what else is out there in the world. So from what I know, the local authorities know that this place will be there, and it's not like they're going to sit there and hide out and wait to arrest someone. It's like the government is working hand in hand with this place to provide people with safety. And I applaud them for going in that route, in that direction. So we're coming along in some areas. In some areas we need more help in, but this is a great start. New York wasn't the first state to launch this. Other states have been doing it long before. They are now just on board. So, and then there's a double standard that I hear people talking about. Well, they're saying that it's okay to use drugs. How can you stop people anyway? They're gonna do what they want to do. And like I said, no one wakes up and plans, well, today I'm just gonna be a drug addict. And then they just go out there. Well, some might, I don't know. But in my situation, in the situation of the people that I know that have stopped, they did not plan for that. It was a mishap. It happened, but people can move on from it. I'm a living witness. So, but we'll talk about that next week in my interview. I'm going to take the hot seat, and we're going to have a special guest come through. Trell, how much time do I have? Okay, 5 minutes. All right, thanks. And we're going to have a guest host. She's been here before. I'll let you see who it's going to be, but they're going to take over the show, and I'm just going to be a guest next week. But we'll talk about those things because I want you guys to know that I'm an open book, and I'm not going to hide shit. Summer Walker gets a face tattoo with, look at my boots. I want to show off my boots. They are fabulous. Oh my God. I got them for a show. Performing December 18th at the church in Christopher Street. The St. John's Lutheran Church on Christopher Street. I'm very forgetful. I performed there before, but I never remember. Are services open there on Sundays?
Yes, they are.
If a person wanted to go and get their Holy Spirit on?
They're also available online if you follow the St. John's Lutheran Church Facebook page, and you can catch Sunday Mass with Pastor Mark.
See, she's full of, wait till she come out here. She's full of information and knowledge, and she's on point. She's been doing this for a long time, advocating. Summer Walker gets a face tattoo with her boyfriend's name. Crazy. I like tattoos. I've gotten maybe 2 men's name over a spurt though of years. It wasn't like back to back. Maybe once when I was 18, I got one right here, but he passed on, and I decided not to remove it because he passed on, and I miss him. I miss you, Trell. His name was Trell too. You ever wonder why this ain't your name sitting here?
I thought it was my name. Saying
You a lie. Wait till he come out here. We're gonna get him. And then her boyfriend got a tattoo with his name. Audience. Okay, we got a married couple in here. Would y'all ever get each other's names tattooed on the face?
Not on the face.
No.
On the face? No.
Mm-mm.
No, not on the face.
Somewhere else?
Somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah?
But not
On
on
my
the face.
face.
No, on the face. They both like no.
Not face. The face is like the money shot.
Yeah, like
Yes.
real face. No.
And you
That's
don't-
harder right there.
And you don't want to ruin that.
Mm-mm.
Not even with your boo's name on it.
No.
No.
Now, when y'all break up next month, or I think that's crazy. When you get, I don't know, celebrities be doing shit like that. So, all right. She likes it. We love it. Also, stay tuned tonight for a really special announcement. If you are looking for a job in the area, we got the hookup. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. I am your host, Pink Princess, and we are coming to you live from the Pink Palace. We'll be right back.
Playing from Moto G Stylus 5G.
Welcome back to the Come Out Talk Show. So you might notice it's a little quiet around here tonight, huh? Karen with Q is not here. Karen, we hope you feel better. We miss you. We love you. She's going to kill me for even mentioning her tonight. But we love you. We hope you get well soon. And you're my sister. And that's all I'll say about that. Let's bring out our king, and here we go.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me. I'm not really asking. Oh, yeah,
We're not outside though.
to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action. Where we can be. Like,
What's up? How was your Thanksgiving?
Ah,
I heard you say that.
yeah, it was, I just stayed in the crib all day, watched football.
Typical.
Yeah.
Anyone cook for you?
No.
Just me?
I
Figured.
mean, I ain't got no family like that, so
Me neither.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we do. We have family. We have each other.
Right.
And we have people that we have made our families, and we've intertwined them into our lives.
Right.
Some of them don't always get along,
Right.
but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, they're our families.
Right.
So don't say that.
Right.
What's going on in the streets?
Yeah, speaking about the streets, 2 weeks ago, Young Dolph, a rapper from Memphis, Tennessee, was murdered.
Mhm.
And he is now getting a street named after him in his hometown of Memphis, Tennessee.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Rest in peace to Young Dolph.
That was gun violence?
Yes, it was gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that verdict.
Yeah, speaking about that verdict.
Before our
Kyle Rittenhouse.
disgusting. Kyle disgusting.
I want to say how he got found not guilty when he literally shot those people. You know, he crossed over state lines.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear what we're talking about. Alexa, Kyle Rittenhouse.
I can't place that call because there's no one matching red in your favorites.
Alexa, tell me about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Here's something I found on the web. According to wikipedia.org, the house was listed on the National Register of Historic
Alexa,
Places.
You're embarrassing me. Be quiet. Alexa, tell me information on Kyle Rittenhouse.
Here's something I found on the web. According to wikipedia.org, the house was listed on the National...
Cancel. She's showing out tonight. But he was charged with, he had a semi-automatic rifle,
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
And he shot, since we want to talk about race, because I've seen a lot of posts where this has just speared off into a black and white thing.
Right.
And he shot 2 white people and 1 black?
Yeah, he shot 3 people, 2 white people, 1 black person.
Did anyone die?
2 people died.
I don't have all the details, so that's why I like to ask you stuff like this. But nevertheless, did he get away with murder?
Yes, he did. Scot-free.
Was it self-defense?
No. Because in all reality, he shouldn't have been there. Interesting.
Yet they ruled it not guilty. So it walks. And that's what this country is. I'm not going to speak against the country, but I'm going to speak against the country. This is the bullshit that the country's made up. Now, remember when they took over I'm going to get political for 1 second. Maybe I know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't. But remember when they took over the Capitol?
Yeah.
And there was a cop murdered, right?
Yeah.
Did anyone do time for that?
There's only one person got convicted, and they got convicted only for 4 years.
I know people in jail doing time for weed longer than 4 years.
Right.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
What else you got?
My King of Hearts.
Are we moving right on to King of Hearts?
Yeah. Okay. That's what we want to move into?
Go ahead.
All right. Basically, yeah, especially about gun violence, I just want to touch on something right quick. A young man was shot around the corner from me last week. Gun violence is crazy around my neighborhood. I'm not going to really give real details into what happened because I'm still trying to find out what happened. But I know he was shot. He didn't die, which was a good thing. But this gun violence in New York City is crazy.
Did you say that was a good thing?
No, I said it's a good thing that he didn't die. I said he didn't die.
Did not die.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Right. It's so crazy how so much gun violence is here in New York City where we have strict gun laws. It's really insane. I'm not understanding. I don't know who's behind this or what. But we have to understand that there's too much gun violence going on. We got mothers, we got daughters, we got brothers, we got sisters, fathers, and everything walking these streets. And they don't have the same beef that these people have. And they always get dragged into it by getting hit by a stray bullet. Because that man it wasn't meant for him last week. It wasn't meant for him at all. And he got hit, which is crazy. Like, it's really getting out of hand out here now, man, for real. But we live in a city, New York City, where it has strict gun laws. But I'm not understanding where these guns are coming from and why these people are just shooting random people.
They're coming in illegally and they're shooting people because they can get away with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody's like...
Yeah, it's crazy, but
But the violence has spiked since COVID hits the scene.
Right.
The violence has spiked in New York City. The attacks on the subway, by people are fed up. People are homeless on the streets. And why are we have homeless people in the streets in New York City?
I don't understand. I never understood that.
I don't understand that. We have all these abandoned buildings everywhere and not being utilized. They're just boarded up. I don't care who owned that. The city should definitely step in and be like, yo, we'll offer you a certain amount of money so that we could take over this property, fix it up maybe a little bit, livable, and get people off the street. It's freezing out there. Like, I can't even tolerate going from the subway to very political. I would love to get your take on that when you come out. Yeah, or we can take these, in your backyard. I know my grandmother had one in her backyard. I'm sorry, I keep doing this because there's like hair stuck on my face. I'm like, my grandmother had this shed in the backyard, and I used to like playing in there, but I wasn't allowed to because it was sharp tools. But I like playing in there because it was like a little house, a little mini house back there. They can take those and line them up somewhere, maybe in the, I don't know. I think y'all are selfish for not doing something about homeless people. They can take those little things that I'm talking about and let homeless people live in there. Right. Give them a fighting chance. A lot of people don't want to live in these shelters because, let's be real about it, they're drug infested. They are disgusting. They're just filthy. They're dirty.
They're very dangerous. I heard.
Extremely dangerous.
It's a mental health issue.
It's definitely
because no matter what, even if they opened up those things to homeless people, the things that's going on in the shelters would happen in those homeless areas because of the mental health issue.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than just being homeless. It's being a mental health issue and helping people to be able to come to an area where they can be self-sufficient and be able to help themselves and stuff like that. It's meeting people also where they're at. And some people just don't want to take the time to really help. It's an ongoing issue that's never going to be fixed. It's too much money and letting it just be the way it is.
So what's next for them? I remember when I went to DC, like us, their homeless population, it's a lot. I was in the downtown area, and across the street there was a park. It was a beautiful park, but it had no benches. And the woman said, she was walking by and she said, it's horrible what they did to the park. I said, well, what did they do to the park? And she said, they took all the benches out because they don't want the homeless people sleeping in the park. So they removed the benches, so that they can't, because the neighbors don't like looking out the window. This is coming from her mouth. I don't live there. Doesn't like looking out the window, watching all those people sleeping in that park on benches. I said, wow. I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised, because the type of people that work in these organizations are people who really have a heart. Now, there's some that do it for the check. And those are the ones that I am so sick and tired of. I am tired of trying to go get services somewhere and somebody so ignorant have to service me. And not only do they have to service me, now I got to tell you how to do your job. I got to tell you how to navigate me and service me, how to talk to me, what pronouns you're going to use with me. I remember when I was first transitioning, I had the same worker for years and years. And I was transitioning, and he refused to call me a she, refused to even acknowledge that I had transitioned. I got those D's in your face, my man, and you calling me sir and him, and I was in the waiting area, and he came out and he called me, and he said, Mister. And I stood my 6'2" ass up because I had on heels, probably 6'4" because I had on them thick ass heels. And I marched right up to him, and he's short. And I said, you better stop calling me sir. I'm not playing with you. And he still didn't get it because, he's protected by all the security or whatever. But I had to go to his supervisor and say, look, you got to change him. He's refusing to get with the program. And y'all gonna wind up getting sued. I like suing.
And I say that all the time, man. Respect costs nothing. Just respect. We don't care what you into. We don't care what you like. We don't care how you was raised. I hate when people say that. Oh, respect. All you gotta do is respect people.
Oh, I got another one.
What's that?
Okay. The other morning, I'm heading to work, and this woman, she kept staring at me, and you know, I'm me wherever I go. Shiny, glossy, flashy, dashy. I'm just me. And she kept staring at me, nodding too, and I keep my headphones in my ear for this specific reason. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I want to maneuver through the city. I mean, I keep one out so I can hear what's going on, but I'm maneuvering, minding my own business. I don't care what you're saying. She kept looking at me. We made eyes, and she removed her mask, and she started to lip something. So I took the thing out, and I said, what did you? And I say like that. I said, what? And she said, God bless you. I said, God bless you too. And she said, no, God bless you. And this was loud.
Okay.
The train was quiet. What you mean, okay? You know I ain't let that go. So I said, I pulled my mask all the way off. I said, is it because I'm trans that you're saying God bless you? And Leg, guess what she said? Yes.
Wow.
So I swallowed. And I said, thank you for your God bless you. And I said, but you can keep that one. Because I said, my parents raised me well. I know who God is and Jesus is and the blessing is. I said, I come from a family with morals and values. She said, as you should. So she kept trying me, and my stop was next. So how I left her was, I said, you shouldn't be so judgmental, because your God doesn't necessarily be my God. And your God from back in the day has surely come a long way and changed today. So God that I know is full of love, joy, and laughter. I don't know what you got going on, but I said, don't be disrespectful. And I put my mask on, the doors open, and I pumped. But I think she got a kick out of telling me, God bless you, and trying to say, I am so sick of you people condemning us to hell and whatnot. Is it time for a break? Because we gotta bring our guest out. Oh, let me see. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, it will be question of the day. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. I'm your host, Pink Princess.
And I'm your host, Trell.
We'll be right back.
Head underwater, I'm falling back into you. I thought we'd be smarter, I got nothing left to lose. You said you fall with me, no matter how far it goes. Not even under.
We're gonna get
Changing the colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different. Makes me wanna raise it every time I look at you.
Welcome back to the Come Out Talk Show. I have an announcement. If you're looking for a job, I got the hookup. Well, I don't got the hookup, but I know somebody who does have the hookup, and they told me specifically to put this out there. So if you're looking for a job and you're serious and you're in New York City, there is a porter job available. It's cleaning the museum on 53rd Street. It starts at $17.50 an hour, and it will go up to $18.75. I don't know the details, but this is what I'm told. And if they are on the job long enough and they refer someone that then gets hired, they receive a $500 bonus. So if you're there and you're making all this money and then you refer me, Sebastian, Lailani, and Trell, that's bam. How much is that? $2,000 right there just for your referral if we all shall get hired. So basically this job offers a lot. I'm not done yet. And a bonus if they get, okay, I read that already. Full-time, it's full-time. A bonus is they feed you. I like food, so I might go apply just to see what they got for lunch. It's from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. Hey, I like that for you pie heads out there that might need a job. Yeah, apply for it. You get free tickets to the museum. It's the MOMA, so I'm going to assume that's the Museum of Modern Art. MoMA, yeah, on 53rd and 5th. And that's my special announcement. So if you're looking for a job, you can leave it in the comment section wherever you see this video playing, or you can hit us up on our Facebook page, The Come Out Talk Show on Facebook, or you can hit us up in our Messenger, and Cruella will gladly forward, not to me, nice try though, but Cruella will gladly forward you to someone who can then put you in touch with the person who's offering all this. But serious replies only. Don't waste our time, and we definitely won't waste yours. What's up, King?
Yes. Question of the day. If as a family member you were to do something nice for someone, that would you do
What?
and why?
What?
If as a family member, if as a family you were to do something nice for someone, would you do and why? Damn, I ain't no front. I'm kind of confused. Huh? I'm kind of confused.
Remember me last week? Wait, let's talk about that.
Nah, I'm kind of confused.
So this one, for our holiday special, you might notice the holiday special has been removed. And we had to make executive decisions to remove that video. He makes my drink for our Christmas or for our Thanksgiving dinner. And that drink was, I don't know what the fuck he put in that drink, but I had the first drink, as y'all saw, and I was done for the count. So if I'm done for the count, the whole show is pretty much done for the count. And y'all saw how it went, some of y'all. And if you didn't, you ain't really missed nothing but a bunch of chitter chatter, because I know my ass was just done, and so is everyone else. It's safe to say everyone else around me, except for him. He wasn't. So now we're playing the opposite tonight. It says, if as a family you were to do something nice for someone, oh, you're reading it right.
Right.
What would you do and why? Can you pick a different one? Why you pick a tongue twister? I don't even understand that. I don't got no family, so I can't answer that question.
Me neither. In 100 years, how will your house be different room by room?
In 100 years, I will definitely be 6 feet under. You talking about 100 years?
Yeah.
Go ahead, answer the question.
Man, I just hope I'll be here. To be honest, I really hope I'll be here.
In 100 years?
Yes, I hope I'll be here in 100 years.
That's wishful thinking,
yes.
Right? In 100 years.
I'm gonna be in another place, just enjoying the next phase of my life.
That's what it is, Sebastian.
Wow. I'm gonna be chilling like Noah.
You got another one? Then we're gonna bring out our guests after we take a quick break. Get
What is something that you do that gives you the most personal satisfaction?
Hey, that's a good one. Lay. She said cook. I've tasted her food. It's delicious. You're a lucky man for that food that you got. You're a lucky man for the beautiful woman that you have. And you're a lucky lady for this handsome man that you have. And I celebrate. I celebrate them, but I don't want to tell her story. I'll let them. What's the question for Sebastian? Because I forgot.
Oh, what is something that you do that gives you the most personal satisfaction?
Oh shit! Play with my cats.
I heard your cat during the meeting. And he wants to walk by and he's like, damn. Play with his cat. You?
Me, I like playing with my game, man. playing on a video game, playing Madden, redoing teams and everything like that.
Aww.
Yeah. I like to get under that salary cap. I like to,
I didn't even know what video games you own.
what
system?
System?
Yeah.
A PS4. Because PS5 costs too damn much.
Alright. I'm gonna get me another one. Mine broke. I unplugged it and I don't know what happened. Mine is I like surprising people and I like seeing the look on their face after they're surprised. That's something that I just love to do, and I get great joy out of that. But I also like fooling around with Skittles. Skittles keeps me laughing. I'll smoke a blunt and just chill. How are we doing with the legalization of weed? It was legal before they even legalized it, if they didn't know.
Well, I'm not a pothead, so I want to know.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not drinking no more now. I'm going to have edibles. For season 2?
Oh, yeah.
For season 2, we're going to have edibles. Look, you like that, huh?
Yeah, I'm cool with edibles.
We're going to have some edibles for you and I. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. We'll be right back, and we'll bring out our guests. I'm your host, Pink Princess.
And I'm your host, King Clee Trell.
Head underwater, I'm falling back into you. I thought we'd be smarter, I got nothing left to lose. You said you'd fall with me, no matter how far it goes. Not deep under. It's like in the sky, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different, makes me wanna risk it. Every time I look at you, you pull me back into the river. I need to breathe, my head underwater. I don't know the reasons, not sure I really care. We're all of our demons, if they ever disappear, I will forgive you if you forgive me. We're stuck in this time, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing the colors again and again. I could never let you go.
You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. Welcome back. So, my lipstick on my wine glass moment tonight is one that I was not even nervous to plan for this week's show with this young lady. I've been in her presence a lot. We have a lot in common, which you will see when she comes out. We're both showgirls. She's fabulous. I love watching her perform because it will move you to tears. Let her talk about that. Also, she moved me to tears, which is kind of hard to do, but not too hard to do. But when it comes to the spiritual aspect, I'm really in tune with what people are trying to say through music, and her show just blew me away. She did a beautiful, beautiful tribute that just drove me to tears. So her name is Lailani, and she is from the Bronx, and her favorite movie is Beaches. Her favorite color is purple, and the one thing she wants us to know about her is she's a private person. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to this beautiful, fabulous lady, Lailani. showed up. She showed up.
I sure did. I sure
up.
did. You know, I didn't have to travel that far.
No.
That many modes of transportation.
We're neighbors.
You know, it was only like a bus, a train, a boat ride with a canoe,
Parachute.
You know,
Because you gotta jump off the cliff to get here.
You
It's a
know.
big palace. So.
and then afterwards, you know, you got roller skate down the hill. You know.
How was the crossing of the alligator moat?
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
No?
You know, I had some chicken in my bag, so I just tossed it in.
Ah, fried?
No, raw. You know,
You
gotta
didn't bring me no
train them
fried
right.
chicken?
No.
If you were to invite me to your house right now for dinner, what would you cook?
Ooh. That's horrible because I can't cook one thing. You see, that's the bad part. I can't cook. So this is how it starts out.
Go ahead
My
and get
menu
yourself a
start
job. She's
out.
invited me to dinner.
My
You wanna
menu
know?
start. My menu start out with like a main dish, right? And then you have your meat selection.
Mm.
And then I'll be like, oh, well, I'm going to do like one side, right?
She ain't gonna tell you what she's cooking.
And then I'll open the cabinet and I'll be like, wait a minute, but I defrosted some of that and I could make that with that and put that. Oh, that. By the time I'm done, you got like Thanksgiving.
And she does this often. You still do game nights and stuff?
Haven't done it in a little bit. Have had family night, but haven't had it in a little bit. Just, I guess, just busy with everything going on.
You look beautiful. You always look beautiful, but
Thank you. It's a process, you know, like the evolution of Lailani has definitely been a process. An amazing journey, but definitely a
and
process.
we're gonna talk with now she's private, so she said to me, sure, I'll do the interview. What questions are you going to ask me? So had to send these questions over first and get her approval. And I respected it. And I love the fact that she said that because she's a whole brand and she wants to represent herself and at their best. Because I do that too.
Mhm.
And before I have to go do an interview, I ask them, what are you going to ask me? But sometimes they don't want to divulge that. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
You have to be firm and you have to know your worth and know where you stand. You know, like now in the game, it's funny. When I started out, before we, go into the questions, like when I started out in the game or in the work that I do, all lines of work that I do, it was real easy for me to be like, oh, well, yeah, you need me to sit there and go there and be here. And absolutely.
We have a whole 40 minutes with you. I just want you to know we don't got to rush.
There you go. So, like, yeah, oh, you're just going to give me like lunch and pay my fare there. I'm there. I'm in it. I'm in there like swimwear. And I've been doing it so long now that I had to learn the language, right? So then I would be like, well, what's your budget? And people would be like, oh, well, I don't have a budget. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, okay. And then you feel kind of bad, like telling them like,
why?
I feel bad.
Pay your dues.
For me, yeah, but it
we live in a time and
I
an
feel
age.
bad because
But we live in a time and an age where we got grown
I've
woman
learned
bills.
I've learned that. You see,
That
but
don't pay themselves.
when I first started out, it wasn't like that.
No.
It was like
For me,
you got to get in where you can get in because the opportunities were slim to none.
but you pay your dues.
And now,
You've
so
done
when people
that.
hit me up, it's funny because I just recently had somebody hit me up and they were like, oh, can you do this, such and such and such? And I was like, sure. Where should I send you my invoice? And they gave very much, oh, this isn't a paid thing. And I was just like, well, I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I will definitely go and support, but unfortunately, my services will not be rendered for that.
Can I give you a scenario? What you just said? I was going to do, someone hit me up to do a production, something similar to what we were in. We were in a film together. I'll let her divulge her own information, but we were in a film together. And someone hit me up along the lines of that. And they said they're doing a whole production, like a 3-week production around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be a great contribution and blah, 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 and a spur. So I was with it until I mentioned, I said, so what's the payment on here? How much would I get for my time, my story? And they began to tell me that it was not paid thing for me. But we're talking about a whole production that you're gonna say, cut, action, stop, do it again, over, left, right. They said, we'll pay for your meal and we'll pay for your transportation, but there will be no compensation for your time. And I threw this out there on social media just to get back some feedback. Do you know one of the girls came for me and said, no one knows who Pink Princess is. You should take it because it's a great opportunity. Doesn't matter if you get paid or not. And I just fired back. Well, you may not know who Pink Princess is, but there was a Beyonce Jones before there was a Pink Princess. But she's a troll, and she continues to troll me. Hi, troll. You know who I'm talking to. Had to remove her from our Facebook situation because that's more for family, friends, and admirers, not for trolls. If you want to troll us, head on over to YouTube because we don't pay attention to that shit. But I feel you on that. And I asked the question to everyone. I said, where's the money for trans women of color? Trans women of color. You're a trans woman of color.
Listen, that's a touchy topic right there.
Ooh, I like when you talk about that topic because you know what? It's your truth.
It's
and
a
what
powerful
you're saying.
topic. It comes with a lot of ammunition, you know. But at this point in the work that I do, it is what it is. You know, I've learned that you're either gonna like me, you're not gonna like me, and that's fine. It's okay. I don't mind it. I validate your not liking me because they're your feelings. But at the end of the day, I can't take that to my landlord. I can't take that to Condorcet. I can't put gas in my car. I can't put food in my plate. You know, I can't do any of that. I can't feed my animals. I mean, I can do all of this if you send me some money on Cash App. But ideally, it's a feeling. It's like an asshole. Everybody has one. It's fine. You know, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I feel like as a woman, wow, you gotta break it down because you see, like, I'm a Hispanic woman and I'm a woman of color and I'm a trans woman of color, that takes HIV positive. So it's just like you add the layers. It's like an onion. When I first tested positive, I got poached by so many different like therapists and group facilitators. Like, oh, you should really join the group because you have so much give. You have like this positive outlook. And for me at that time, I was just like on some selfish, like, no, like, even though I have a positive outlook on things, I still am a product of that stigma of people just like joking with you here, but then talking about you there. Oof. Or joking about people with people like you, but not you. And for me, I was like that. I didn't want to experience that. So for me, I was real selfish. You know, I kept very quiet about my status other than, you know, telling my family and stuff like that. And I was very limited family members. That wasn't even the whole family. And finally, it was just like, I decided, okay, I'm gonna make y'all laugh. I'm gonna make all of y'all laugh. Okay. So the only reason I really joined the group was because I went somewhere and they were telling me for weeks, you should come to the group. You should come to the group. Oh my God, you should come to the group. It's so much fun. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not my thing. I'm sorry, that's not my thing. Thank you, but I appreciate that's not my thing. Oh my goodness. I was craving Boston Market that day. And surely enough, they were like, well, come to the group. We're having Boston Market. Boo, that's all you had to say. You got turkey and mashed potatoes with corn. I'm there with the cornbread. Boo, I'm there.
Yeah, Boston Market. All I could think of is candy yams. That would have got me there. Yes, food will do it.
You know, so I went to the group. And that's when I started to become more, I guess, acclimated to a diverse community of different people of trans experience, non-binary. But I ultimately still felt like every time I got my my bearings with the group, the rug was swept up under me. You know, and it was not in a negative way, but it was just like I felt like people just kept on wanting to like become a different group. So it was like, okay, like we're women of color. Yeah, whoa, gun ho, let's go. Okay, so you're a woman of color, Latinx and stuff, and then I'm a woman of color, Black and brown. And it's just like, all right, girl. Listen, I respect you all. So you know what? I validate how you feel. I don't feel like that. I feel like perception is key. I was raised in an era, and it's funny, I just, you know, participated in a focus group where it was a diverse group of people. And it's funny because speaking to different age groups and other people that are part of this focus group, somebody said something that really resonated with me, which was, and we were talking about work, you know, and their comment was, I come from an era where it doesn't matter if you like me, your feelings, as long as your qualifications are there, I don't care what, and the work is done, I don't care about anything else. And that's sort of where I come from, you know, that era of, I don't care as long as you're qualified. So for me, I feel like I don't care what you look like at the end of the day. The fight is the fight. You know, like at some point, we all must get together to do something. It's difficult. It's not gonna happen overnight. Like, look how far it got for us to get something as simple but as large as gender. You know, look how long it's taken for us to go from getting arrested for smoking weed and you know, indulging to it's somewhat legalized, you know.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Wait, somewhat is not really,
you know,
In certain places.
in certain places.
In New York City?
It's not completely legal.
in New York City?
You know.
I've been walking around smoking blunts in front of cops and it's not legal?
No worries.
No,
It's
it
just
is
repeating
what it is.
itself. It's like when alcohol wasn't legal.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
You
You
know.
had the
Oh,
moonshine.
so I
and the
need to hide my
moonshades.
blunts
And
and I'm
now,
out there?
now alcohol is legal.
Tell me. They said it was legal. That was not legal? Don't play with me like that.
They have to figure out how they're gonna tax it.
Right.
And then it can flow.
Oh,
They can't control it. They
I've
can't
been
handle
smoking my blunts in front of everybody. Every day, all day. I've been everywhere with my blunts. Nobody don't bother me. But I feel what you're saying on everything that you're saying. Like,
It's difficult. It's a difficult fight, you know. And for anybody that first and foremost, anybody that feels that they're not an advocate, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're a damn fool. Because everybody's an advocate. You advocate when you don't even know. When you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, I'm in this pain, and the doctor tells you, well, you know, this is what I see, and you're like, well, I know my body. You're advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're an advocate, you know? So there's advocates in all different areas and shapes and sizes, you know? So ideally, you know, like I feel like there's no one form of advocate.
I love the way this lady thinks. I got to pick her brain years ago about her transition, and I had tried to transition when I was younger, but you've heard me say it before here, and I'll say it again. It was hard once I hit 18, 19, 21, and those features started coming in that I was not expecting, and they were foreign to me. Because as kids, we look awful in wigs and dresses and however we're presenting ourselves. And I was rather passable until that point when adulthood started. And it was weird looking for me. I wasn't used to looking like that. And so I aborted mission. I got the hell out of there because there weren't hormones. She laughed. I had to. And I know you spooked when we first met. Like, I play it off like I was this thug. I was married to this man. I'll say that. Lady, man, whatever. Hey, you. I'm gonna mention your name though. We're gonna give you no airtime. But I was married to him, and I met Lay, and her transitioning to me was fascinating. And I asked her, well, how old were you when you transitioned? I don't know if you want to say that or not.
I started transitioning medically at 27, socially at 28.
And she gave me this insight because here I was. I ain't gonna say my age, and I ain't gonna say yours either. But we were close in age, and I said, "Oh wow!" I said, "I can transition," and it was only then did it click with me. Go ahead, be happy, because I was not happy as a man. I did not know how to be a man. It was a front. I was a plainclothes transgender, meaning those were costumes that I put on. Y'all would think when I dressed like a woman back then that those were costumes. No, that was me. Because in my house, you don't know what I was wearing. But
I remember the first time I saw her.
In my wig on my Halloween with the face.
See, I'm not laughing out of like funny, like, oh my God, ha ha ha, look at her. I'm laughing because when she walked out the house, I was like, who the fuck is this?
6-inch heels, wig was done.
I was like, when you done with that wig, I just need to borrow it, please, because it's everything.
I did let you borrow
Yes.
it. And I fucked up my makeup, but I used whatever I did. I painted it.
She turned it.
And she complimented me. She said, "You look beautiful." My husband was pissed. He didn't want to see me in no heels or nothing like that. As a matter of fact, when I was transitioning, I showed him. He said, "If you grow a pair of boobs, this marriage is over." And I had to open my shirt, and I said, "I've been on hormones for." That'll show you our sex life was dry because he didn't even notice I was growing titties before his eyes. And so our marriage was over right then and there in that moment. But I don't throw salt on you. I acknowledge our marriage, but that was marriage number one, and I failed through 2 more after that. So whatever. But those conversations that we used to have, those interactions, really inspired me to just be myself. So thank you for those talks and things. We're gonna take a break because I'm thirsty and I want to see if the guests want anything. Her husband has joined us here in the audience. You want to give him a shout out?
Oh, wow. What do y'all want to know? My husband, if y'all don't already know who my husband is, y'all in trouble. But anywho, my husband is Sebastian Roy, AkA Lucky. Wow, many things, but that's my husband. He's also the owner of the NYTVF. Y'all want more info? NYTVF.info.
Bodybuilder, your husband?
Former bodybuilder and 3rd in the world.
Give it. Hello.
I'm saying, give a clap.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Shame.
You know what I'm saying?
The shame on you moment, Lailani, you can do it.
What?
It goes to the king.
Ow.
You didn't clap for Sebastian.
I was getting the card. I put the card up like this so I can clap.
He was getting his hands
Right. I can't clap like this. Think about it.
I gotta give somebody shame on you moment.
Hold on.
Me?
Hold on. Wait.
For this
Maybe-
outfit?
Yeah.
This outfit is slutty. Huh, Sebastian?
Maybe I was gonna say maybe he didn't know. He didn't clap because he didn't understand what NYTVF is.
What does NYTVF
Oh.
It's the New
mean?
York Transgender Bodybuilding Federation.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's only trans-Pacific pro sport in the world.
Mhm.
You know, so maybe that's why for clap.
I love that. Yes, you're amazing. You are amazing. You both, and they host events. They threw a trans event, and it was so beautiful and well thought of and put together. The drink had me on my ass. Me and these drinks. If I have one drink, I was done.
No more alcohol for you.
Huh? No more alcohol for you.
Nah.
He had a drink tonight. Can you tell the
Never.
difference between who?
Never.
So this is what we do. If I have a drink, he don't have a drink. He watches me, and if he has a drink, I don't have a drink. I watch him. But I ain't having no more drinks on this show because I get in trouble. I was wondering if maybe, and your husband's sitting there too, for season 2, when we launch, I would love to get you here and interview you, Sebastian.
All right.
All right.
Do some trans masculine visibility.
Yes. Yes. And if you know any other trans men that want to come on and share their story, we would love to interview them also, because it's time for us to acknowledge that there are trans men in the world. It's not just trans women. You want to say something?
No, we're going to break.
Come on.
You're watching the Come Out Talk Show with our guest, the beautiful Lailani, and your co-host,
King Clee Trell.
and I am your host, Pink Princess. We'll be right back.
Playing from Moto G Stylus
We know.
5G. Hey, am I in trouble for this? Welcome back. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. I'm your host, Pink Princess, and this is King Clee Trell, and we're talking to Lailani. So, would you like to throw out? Let me change that while you throw out the first question.
All right, cool. So, how does it feel to be married?
Awesome. You have somebody that, I don't know, for me, as being in a trans-specific relationship is the difference. Like having somebody that ultimately gets you.
Understands
Mhm.
you. All right.
And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Right.
Sidebar, you know who I've always eyed and have a major crush on, and I know you know them, and he don't have a clue because I ain't a hoe like that. Allegedly. No, I joke. Devin. There's a man by the name of Devin.
There's two that I know of.
Well, are they both fine? Oh, well, I can't ask you that. But he's fine. Every time I see him, he is just fine. And not only is he fine, his personality just blows me away and it melts me. And I'm like, how do I send you flowers or something? Or like a box of chocolates? Like, and I get giddy around him. We've been at 2 different social events together. And I just sit close just to be in his presence because he's just so fun. Hi, Devin. I'm not going to say your last name. I don't even know it. And if I find your Facebook, I'm going to stalk you. In a friendly way.
Oh, Lord.
He's a trans man. He's beautiful. And he's very kind. That's what makes him even more beautiful. Trans people are just beautiful and kind in general. Some of us.
That's why I gravitate to trans people so much.
That ain't why you gravitate to transgender so much.
I'm trying to make it out to be like I'm some type of chick, so I'm not.
I would never.
Don't do it.
I would never. I didn't say it.
I hate it.
Anyway, my question is, what have you had to overcome to get to where you are today?
Myself. Um, it's funny. So, just sidebar. So you sent me all the questions. I approved them. I read them, and I'm just like, that's interesting. Anybody that knows me knows I don't pre-plan like what I have to say because I go with the flow. Like it's come where it comes from. So ideally, myself, I had to overcome a lot of that I've gone through, a lot that I've put myself through to be able just to become a better person. And not saying that it's an end point. It's always. Ooh, I was gonna play called a work in progress. Quick plug.
Really?
Yeah.
Where can I see this?
So I'll see if I can get you the link. It's
Hey.
a off-Broadway play.
Okay.
My husband is actually one of the leads in
Okay.
the play.
Okay.
I happen to be the bartender at the gay club. You know. But I've had to overcome all of that, and ideally it's a work in progress. I think every day you explore something different, and then having somebody with you. Not for nothing, sometimes my husband points out shit and it pisses me off and it frustrates me and I lose my mind and I lose my marbles. And then, but ultimately having to come back to that realization that it's like, you have to process what has been told to you, you know? But also as individuals, we have to realize that, are you sharing this because it's for the person's benefit? Are you sharing it to be malicious? Are you sharing it for the betterment of the person? You know, so you got to look at those things. And then as the recipient of that, you have to look at it and be like, am I taking it the wrong way because I'm in my feelings about some shit? Is it just triggering something that they have no clue about? So I'm still in my feelings about shit, you know? So it's a process, you know, and you always have to work on yourself so that you can be a better you. And ideally knowing when you have to take that step back from not just, I'm gonna speak on an I statement. I had to learn how to take a step back from just being that public figure for what I felt for everybody, not just the public figure, but that tokenized public figure, you know, because it was like, it seemed that when I became more prominent in the work that I've been doing, it was like, oh hey, I hear you're Lailani. Well, I'm doing this and I don't have a trans person. Would you like to come in? And for me, I always went into those doors. And I think still to this day, depending on what it is, I probably still will walk into those doors with no paycheck either. Just because if you do your research, sometimes the doors aren't open at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, people focus sometimes on like, well, why did they let her in? And I've been doing it so long. And sometimes it's not really like what you do. Sometimes it's taking that step back and realizing that for the greater good, I need to sit back because she got that door open and now the floodgates are open and they're letting more in.
And are we doing this for the right reason? Are you doing it for lights, camera, action?
You know, and you know, you said something earlier and I wanted to mention something. And it's funny, I had a good tool. If you don't learn, my agent told me something when I first signed with him, and he told me that if in 365 days out of the year you never learn something, wasted a whole year.
Get
So
it?
if I don't educate you guys on something right now, if you have a thought in your head, write it down. If you don't know it right away, or if you don't have it to be able to speak about, because it helps you remember it. So anywho, you mentioned something like where you said sometimes people do the work just for the paycheck. And I'm just gonna play devil's advocate because I was in this situation. So sometimes you get in the work for the heart and the passion. When you're reliant on a government assisted program and you get into the work and you're offered a position and you take it, you're taking it because you hope that down the line at some point the compensation will get greater so that you can survive. And the fact of the matter is that if you're working for a nonprofit organization, they work off of grants. They don't get paid. you don't get paid.
I was speaking more for HRA. Those
No, but
people,
even then, like
they are paid.
even then, you get into the work for the passion. And with all the bureaucracy and the politics, it ends up tarnishing a person's spark. And total sidebar, when I started receiving mental health services through my therapist, I felt like at certain areas of my care, I wasn't being heard. Literally, at one point, I had a staff member tell me, Lailani, you have to keep quiet and play nice. You got a big mouth, and they don't like that. And I was like, wow.
How you gonna tell Ralph Craven they got a big
Wow.
mouth?
Your husband.
But he says a fact because I tell
How you
every
gonna tell
single
Ralph
body
Craven you
I
got
have
a
the
big
Ralph
mouth?
Craven
You
syndrome.
know what's
I
gonna
have a
happen there.
big mouth.
It's gonna be even
a
bigger.
big mouth. You know? And I
It's
was
gonna be
literally
even bigger.
told, keep quiet and play nice. And
Shame on you, moment goes to you who told her that. How
Yeah.
dare you?
And I don't
You
bear
just
the
didn't
burden on
understand.
that person that relayed the message. Well, I'm Hispanic, so I'd be like, fine. But right with the shoe, I have a strap on my shoe. If not, I would take it. But I don't really bear the burden on them because they were relaying a message that would relate to them. Ultimately, it's a bigger issue. It's not just that direct person. Ideally, a lot of the times we get so frustrated and we target the person that's sitting at that desk when they're following a directive that's been given to them. And at the end of the day, they're relying on that check, that whether they're doing it for the heart or their money, they're relying on that check to survive.
Absolutely.
You know, so sometimes I'm starting to try to practice this again, you know, my meditation and my thinking positively. I'm a human person. I fuck up. I drive. I get road rage. I'll be on the road and somebody cut me off and I'll be like, I wish your hair falls off. Fucking shit. You know? But I try. And, you know, sometimes it's not that burden. And with my specific situation, it's a bigger picture.
So speaking of advocacy, what's the hardest part about advocacy and what made you leave?
Wow. The hardest thing for me about advocacy is, unfortunately, in certain areas, sitting at tables and sitting with groups of people that get a budget to get something done. And 5 years into it, you're still trying to remake the fucking wheel when the wheel has been built and it just needs to be tweaked and some tune-ups. But you're still trying to reinvent the fucking wheel while you're taking the money.
Oh,
And it's like,
that's
come on. I just feel like it's the whole, oh my God, a whole bunch of people, y'all not gonna like me after today. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No,
But I
love
respect your feelings, okay? And it's okay if you don't like me because I sometimes I don't like myself. But my earring fell off. That's so shady. Don't worry, she's been falling off all day. I'm gonna do her a favor. I'm just gonna take off the other one. And I'm gonna put them down. I don't need it in the sense of embezzlement. I feel like you were saying things earlier and I was like sidebarring and like side commenting, like it's a bigger picture, it's political, because sometimes it is. You know, I was very fortunate that way before I transitioned, I worked for a specific industry. And I learned within that industry that money talks, bullshit walks, and politics plays a big game.
Yes.
You know, it's more lucrative to keep people that are HIV positive on medication than give them a cure.
Say that a lot.
You know, it's much more of a lucrative business to keep a person positive than it is to find a cure. By the way, quick plug, and that'll tap into what Yonsei was talking about earlier, right? Quick plug. if y'all didn't know, for those who are taking the COVID vaccine and have taken medication for it, you're welcome. And I say you're welcome because in order for that vaccine to come out, they use clinical trials for people that are HIV positive. Little ching, if you didn't know that. Which leads me into the film that we were in, which is HIV, The Forgotten Pandemic.
The neglected.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You know, got the opportunity to be filmed in my home with my husband. You know, oh my gosh. Like,
And then
I
people
tell
come
you,
behind us and troll us. I don't think that, I'm not sure if it happens to you. Look, it happens to me. They troll me and they tell me, well, you should have said this and you should have talked about that.
I
And,
gotta go.
and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, you have the same opportunity. You have the same opportunities afforded to me. And because you don't seize the opportunity or take a leap of faith or whatever your problem is, stop projecting that shit on me.
Because I can't talk about nobody else, but I didn't get paid for that bitch.
Whoa.
I ain't get paid for that.
I did.
I ain't get paid for that.
I did. I didn't get paid as much as a certain somebody we know. We ain't gonna throw salt,
Yeah.
but you know,
I didn't get I got compensated small, but I didn't get compensated like
big.
if I was, you know, and ideally for me, it wasn't about that compensation.
It wasn't.
For me, it was about that opportunity.
This is going so good. I was wondering if you didn't mind that we keep going.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna keep. You mind? Okay. No, go ahead. Continue. Because I don't want to cut us off at.
It's a great film. You know, there's some pieces that weren't able to be used because, you know, you got editing. Shit hits the editing floor. Trust me, I'm a certified producer. I know I have to cut shit.
Don't get me started.
So that's my husband. You
Don't
know,
get
so like
me started.
it's
Because you would say something, but when it reached the editing board, something might be said, and then something might really be said right after that, and it's like, I didn't say that. That wasn't the question that was asked for me to answer this question. So if you don't know production, I'm so glad you came through. If you don't know production, shut up, because you don't know what you're talking about, and stop trolling people for their stories.
But if you don't know production, you could go on to some websites and Google it. I'm not going to tell you where I went to school. But you could go on and they have very, very, very either online inexpensive courses or they have in-person inexpensive courses. So, you know, definitely look into it. Educate yourself. Like I said, if in 365 days a year you didn't learn nothing, you wasted a whole year.
You sure did. I used to be in production before this. It was unorthodox production, but nevertheless, it was production. And production is production. You can take certain things that you learn and apply it to your life in other places. Mm-hmm. Every experience should definitely be a learning experience. It should be some tools that you put inside your toolbox, maybe for a rainy day. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a break. But when we come back, we still got some great questions for this young lady, and we're going to keep her as long as she allows us to. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. We'll be right back.
Playing from Moto G Stylus 5G.
She is so nosy. Tell her all the
Welcome back to the Come Out Talk Show. We forgot to talk about World AIDS Day this week. It happened on Wednesday. It was December 1st. It was a beautiful day. People shared their, I know on my social media, my personal social media, I'm connected with other activists, advocates, along with yourself, and watching all those stories shared that day. It was beautiful. We've come a long way of just life, man. And I say we because you know, I'm an HIV and AIDS activist, but not only because I'm an activist and I believe in universal care for all, but I share my own personal story because it was a journey, and it is a story that I get to share broadly everywhere. I've also wanted to announce here, I guess, my partnership with Merrick Pharmaceuticals. They made me a Merrick partner, and that means I'm just spreading the thank you. That's a clap.
I'm like,
The king don't never clap for me. He always wants me to.
You don't even see how clap.
I'm gonna get a stripper. Your claps are silent, man.
I got something in my head.
Never mind. Like farts when they silent, your butt cheeks don't move. But yeah, Merrick Pharmaceutical, and then our commercial launched on a website, the Prevention Access website. I've watched you post a video along with all the other advocates, and it was a beautiful
Y'all see
day.
my rock the ribbon?
I saw the rock the ribbon. I don't like looking at people's mans when they ain't got shirts on and stuff like that. I think I scrolled past it real quick. I did one of these. I said, all right, rocking that ribbon. But it was a great, beautiful day. And I just want to shout out to everybody that was brave and bold enough to, we acknowledge the people that we lost. And, but it was a day to celebrate life, I believe. And it was just an emotional day because it was dropping us like flies back then, man. I know a lot of people I went to high school with. It was like another funeral every month. And I was depressed as coming out of high school. I remember one of my friends, you know, not to tell his story, but Joseph hung himself because he became positive, and then nobody wanted him when he said he was positive. And then, you know, one day he just gave up. They found his body hanging, literally my best friend from high school. So, yeah, we celebrate those days. But let's get back to this beautiful young lady. We ain't going to hold her up, but her conversation was just so authentic that we couldn't just stop at our regular scheduled time. Cruella, I see you. But I'm going to override you, boo. Hold your horses. King?
Yes. You know, your question, you talk about all the different things that you went to. I just want to get to this question. What are the things in the trans community that needs to be worked as a whole?
that's a difficult question.
I was waiting for this question.
It's like this.
That's a difficult question. You know, honestly, like in the beginning of a lot of my, I'm gonna say visible advocacy work because I wasn't always visible. So in the beginning, a lot of my visible advocacy work, I felt like I was so energized. I was like a brand new battery in anything you have. I was gung ho, like I wanted to do everything. I wanted to take over the world. I wanted to accomplish everything. And I started to fall into, you know, feeling like I had to segregate myself. Like I had to segregate myself, you know, in groups of different people so that I could acclimate, you know, and be accepted. And then when I saw people start to separate, I realized that for me, on an I statement, I feel like there's different ways to advocate. You don't have to do what the next person did or the people before you did.
Just like it's different ways to look.
You know, my form of advocacy is very different, you know, and there are people that do the same work, the advocacy work in the same form.
But
that
there's
I
only
do.
one you, and
You know, yeah, and we all do it differently. You know, we all have that niche.
Yeah.
You know, we all might do the similar work, but we all have their niche.
Because who I can't reach, you can.
You know,
Who
and
you can't reach, someone else can.
so I felt like I was no longer wanting to be the target.
Of the backlash.
I was tired of being the tokenized Lailani because don't worry, don't get me wrong, the tokenized Lailani got photo shoots, she got paid trips, she got expenses paid, she got cars rented for her. You know, my husband was pulled into the mix and was paid and, you know, received. So it was a good thing. But then it's like,
I know.
yeah.
I know.
And then
Powerhouse couple.
you
In case you didn't know.
you then fall into not being prepared for the attacks. And it's every which way form.
Yes.
I mean, from they don't like what you're wearing, to the way you look, to the way you talk, to the person you're with, to every single
don't represent
little
me.
aspect.
You don't speak for me.
And it's funny to come full circle and to still have people around me, not in my immediate vicinity, but I mean around me, you know, whether it's talking, whether it's events, whether it's on the phone or watching their videos and stuff, that will just be like, oh my God, that's my good girlfriend, that's my Judy. But a couple of months ago, you was like, bitch, wherever I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna knock you out. Or when you hit that stage, they're gonna jump you. Listen, don't hit that stage because there's like a whole bunch of people backstage that they don't like you, so they're gonna jump you. They're trying to figure out how to knock you off the stage. Or priceless. I mean, the list goes on, and nobody prepares you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only does nobody prepare you for that, but for me, I needed to go back to the basics, my roots, my family. You know, like, I'm very, very fortunate that, you know, I have a large portion of my biological family that supports my transition. You know, so for me,
that matters, you know.
It's a difference, you know, and it leads me to feel like if I don't allow those people that are my biological family to get away with it,
We'll never think.
you know. But getting back to like the root of it, it's a lot of work, you know. I like to describe things as an onion. There's multiple layers, and when you think you get into the middle, she'll grow a root and she'll grow some more layers. So it's always a work in progress. What needs to be done to unite the community? Everybody needs to put their fucking feelings aside. A. B. They need to stop chasing after the same funding as if it's the only thing there. Like, there's multiple ways that we can support one another. Like, I'm not even gonna name no names right now, but there's a group of individuals that got together. Don't get me wrong, I have my personal feelings, but I'm gonna put those aside. And there's a group of people that went after funding, and they received that funding, and they all left their jobs. And they're all transgender. So therefore, it's possible for us to unite for the greater good, as long as we're not trying to break each other down while we're trying to get there. Like, I don't need to sit at a table and tell you there's $100,000 there for us to get. We're gonna get this money. And you go to the bathroom and I'm like, listen, we're gonna have a meeting afterwards. And we're not gonna fight her. Right? because we're gonna get this money because you got these connections that I need.
Can I
And
ask
then-
a question?
Yeah.
Did they use the funds where they were supposed to?
Yeah. The fun, it's been a 50-50. That
Okay.
I don't know the logistics of it, so I really can't speak on like how it's supposed to be. But I know they were able to open up a profitable business to keep money coming in, but also supporting
For
trans individuals.
trans individuals.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm learning too. And
Yeah.
I'm learning
Mhm.
to include. That's why I need you to come around, Devin. So I could be more visual. Um, okay, I think you answered this question a 2-in-1. Is there a barrier between trans women and the finishing line and the finish line? I'm sorry, let me reword that. Is there a barrier between trans women and the finish line, the end, where all we have fought for? And if so, what are the barriers? I think you kind of touched on that. But
So what are the barriers? I think ideally the barriers are ourselves. We're our own worst enemies. That's first and foremost.
come on.
Second of all, I don't feel like there's a finish line. You know, like I don't feel like it's like HIV where we need to find a cure. You know, I feel like there's no finish line.
Well, there are
It's
talks for
always
next year,
A work in
but there's
progress.
always talks for next year.
There's I think it's like every 4 years or every 5 years they change the date or they change the year of when they want to end things.
Do you want the cure?
Wow. I honestly I say I do because as I get older, I think about like and mental illness. I think about like the craziest shit. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna make y'all all laugh lately. All I can think about is with the way this pandemic is going and the way this world is going, all I can think about is when I did the things that I did to become HIV positive, I didn't account that I would have to take medication for the rest of my life, but I knew that I would have to take some form of medication.
I didn't.
But I ultimately didn't factor in that if this world shuts down like these fucking movies play out and they don't produce my medication, bitch, I am no longer undetectable. Listen, Gilead, I'm coming to your pharmacies where y'all produce this shit at, and I'm gonna get me a caseload, okay? So make sure you have a box with Lailani on it for me. I will share with the people that take my medication, but bitch, I'm on a triple it. How many people are on that bitch? Y'all give me the warehouse. You know, but ideally, like, I didn't think about that. You know, I didn't factor in that if there's a shortage on things, like you can't get your medication, you know, then you become detectable. And not just that, but so I was very naive. Like I got my tonsils taken out and the doctor tells me, you will never catch a good infection again. You will never get sick like that. You'll be perfectly fine. And then when I became HIV positive, I was really told, don't get sick, but you should be good. You don't have tonsils, and that's like a sponge, so that's where it holds the infections. And I was like, okay, cool. Bless you.
Bless you.
And then a few years, I think it was like 2 years ago, babe. Right? 2 years ago. I started to feel sick. And I went to the doctor. And the doctor was like, I think you have the flu. I was like, girl, that's impossible. No. No, she said, you have strep throat. I said, lies. I don't have tonsils. That's not possible. She was like, you're HIV positive. I said, yeah. She goes, when's the last time you took your meds? And I was like, well, by the way, since you bring it up, my doctor's busy and she has been on vacation and I need a script. So can you write me a 30-day script? She was like, how long you been off of your meds? And I was like, 4 days. Today's number 5. And she was like, your immune system's breaking down. She was like, you're not detectable. She was like, but your immune system is allowing infections in. So that's how you got sick. And I was just like, fucking shit. I was taking my medicine every day.
Because our bodies depend on taking our medicines every day.
Yeah.
And when we don't have them, our bodies know, like right away. And you start to notice changes right away.
That's like right now, like I have been on the same medication since I was diagnosed. Well, not since I was diagnosed. So I was diagnosed. I'm gonna give you a snippet. So I tested positive in 2005, was given the wrong results, was not told until 2006, did not get on medication until 2007. And if you want to know the rest of my story, y'all can go on to HIVstopswithme.org because I am a spokesmodel for the HIV Stops With Me campaign.
Yeah.
And my stories are up there. But I've been taking the same medication for so many years, and my doctors have always been like, oh, you know, you're one of my patients that are on the old regimen. You don't want to get on. I'm very resistant. You know, not only am I a private person, but I'm a creature of habit. I'm not a creature of change. I don't like big change. I really don't. I told my therapist, which wherever you go, I'm going to follow you. My doctor, I told her I'll consult with you over the phone, but I got to follow her. You know,
That's who keeps you safe. I'll
she
tell
keeps
you.
all of y'all out there in this world alive. But ultimately, you know, my doctors always try to get me to change my medication. I could tell you, in all of these years since testing positive and being HIV positive, I've never thought of changing my medication.
Because if it's
But
not broke,
right at this point, I have been in the conversations with my doctor. Ideally, the clinical trials that are available for me to enter in, I slightly missed the deadline, but they're advocating for me to get in it because it's beneficial. You know, so it's like, this is the first time I'm like, okay, I'm excited, but I'm still nervous because I'm just like, I'm on a triple up. That medication has not screwed me up. It screws a lot of people up. It has not. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it ain't break a bitch. You know?
Amen. Before we let this beautiful lady go, we're gonna give her come out. First of all, thank you for this interview. Like, you were like open and honest, and I got a lot of information, which I always do
So did I.
when I sit with you. He don't never say that much
Thank
unless
you.
it's true. So I know, and thank you. And you know, I'm so proud of you. I've watched you over the years, and you've blossomed. And first time I rekindled with you, you was a princess, and I was homeless, and they were passing out coats. And I don't know if you know I was homeless or not, but it was just after my fire. My apartment caught fire, and I hid for a while so I can get my transition together. And I was coming together. I was the bearded lady. Speaking of, now what you bitches gonna say? You know, they tell me, you know, you have 5 o'clock shadow. Bitch, I know, I can see it. But y'all are so malicious that, yeah, so I went and I got the little laser stuff going on, and it's smooth like a baby's butt now. So they're gonna find something else they could talk about. But thank you for being you and being so real. And she brought me an aloe plant. I don't know where I put it.
I bought her an aloe leaf.
Yeah, I wonder.
It's in the kitchen.
Okay. And she's gonna show me how to put in my blender and and that shit hurt. You ain't warned me and prepare me for that. He does it too.
You put the lemon on?
I put the lemon. No, because no, I didn't use the lidocaine because she said, come here with your face cleaned and shit. Like, I don't have too much hair, but I had the thing going. And it makes a difference. Like, I don't have to wake up and sit there and do whatever I need to do. But one day we're gonna do a show where we just show randoms, and maybe you could send some tips over, and I'll say this is from Lailani, like tips on how to reduce that and get rid of it. But before we go, we allow each guest who come on our show to ask us both a question individually. And so you get to look at me and ask me anything in the world, and the rule is we must answer it. Because you have come here and bared your soul and run around here naked. She just gave it to y'all raw. And join us next week where I'm gonna give it to you raw and without lube because I'm really gonna sit in the hot seat and allow.
Gotta say it without lube. Oh my god.
I'm starting to think you're such a kid.
Oh,
You
man.
don't know how to talk about sex.
Oh, man, I do.
He's a kid. We're gonna give him a drink more often before. Give it up for him and his personality today because he really came out of his shell. But yes, take it away, Lvly.
Wow. That's difficult. It's a pop-up question to give a question.
Yeah,
It's like a pageant question.
I won. I'm about to win. Ready?
Where do you see yourself with the work that you're doing? Where do you see yourself? And I'd say like another 2 years.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. I don't know. This year alone, I believe in my higher power. I don't know about nobody else in the world, but me, I believe. And the doors that were closed for me initially have swung open. I have been put in positions that I wasn't even qualified for the job. I had no qualifications on what they were looking for on paper, but I got those jobs. And it seems like this year, like every no home, no worth, no job, no this. All those doors swung open and it was all of a sudden a yes, yes, yes. Even with this talk show, like, and it's true what you said. This talk show was in a thought. It was just in a thought last year on paper. What are we going to do? It started out as a little podcast and then it manifested itself into this.
Conversation wants to scream up.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a conversation. And although he wanted it in one direction, I wanted it in another direction, I just said, well, you know what? Let me just do what I'm doing and then let you see what's going on. And when he came by and he saw what was going on, and then I brought him on board. So that's just to say that it's on God's time, I'm going to say. For me, it's all about on God. When I stopped that situation that I had a problem with, and I walked by a mirror and I saw myself and I was not happy with what I saw. And in that moment, I dropped to my knees and I told God, if you take this disgusting taste out of my mouth, I will submit and I will do what you tell me. And it seemed like, and then I lost my brother. I lost my brother. He battled cancer and he won the battle and lost it. And that was my wake-up call too. I want to make him proud because I know he's watching everything I do and I won't dare let him see me do that because I know he's an angel. And when I started making these appropriate decisions, it was only then I found peace. My life has been so peaceful this year. I've not argued with anyone. I don't care what they say about me. They talked about me since I was born. A person who was born with ADD, they're called stupid, dumb, faggot. I can use that word today? Thank you. Ugly, man, can't be. No, you can't be a girl. Take that dress off. Take that wigs off. Stop stealing my shoes. Why are my shoes benched up? Because I was trying to stick my size 11 to the size 8.
Oh, I know the trick for that. You take some socks and you ball them bitches up with some duct tape and you put it at the heel. So, and then you take a ribbon and you wrap that bitch around here. So you got yourself a strap. Bitch, you got a whole motherfucking shoe.
We're going to have a class on that too. But all those things wrapped into it. I'm looking forward to my future because every day it changes. And I'm just glad to be alive, just to be honest. I should have been dead a long time ago. Life expectancy with what I was doing. And I'm just glad to be here. Sanely.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Oh, same
No,
question.
he gets a different question.
Oh, he gets a
Yes.
different question. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. But I don't know him like
These are
I know you,
individual
so I
ones.
gotta think like not a generic question,
Yep.
but at least a good question, you know? What do you feel that you bring as an anchor to the trans community?
Oh wow. It's real. I never even looked at myself like that, you know? But I understand what you're saying.
I told him today he was a activist.
I can so before you answer that, I'll just educate the viewers on what that means.
Right.
So my husband and I are part of a pageantry circuit called BTIPS, which is Black Trans International Pageantry System. My husband is Mr. Black Trans New York 2018, and I am Miss Black Trans New York 2018. We reign together. And there's a conference every year called BTAC, which is Black Trans Advocacy Conference, held in Dallas, Texas. And for those who don't know, it is open to everyone, but it is focused on supporting and anchoring the trans community and uplifting. So there are individuals that attend the conference that are spouses, family members, cousins, brothers, mothers, siblings that come to support that do not identify.
Allies.
Yeah. So
Allies are
in New
important.
York, we call them allies. But during our conference and part of our circle, we call them anchors. So
Okay.
that's what that means.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, like I said before, not just because I love the women that's in this community. I actually throw my support to this community also too. Last month it was an event called Transgiving. I went and I was a support, like I was a volunteer. I helped out with everything. I was the first one of the first people there, last people to leave. You know, so yeah. So I mean, I like to give my support in many of. They have many events that I always go and support and just be a volunteer at, you know, so things like that. So you know, throw my support. So yeah.
So I'm gonna catch you out there again. So she said that I know her for a very long time, and I do. I know her before she knew herself.
That's all the time we have today.
I knew her before she knew herself. So even though she's proud of me, I'm proud of that you've been able to, through our conversations, find some ground and a road for you to travel through. You know what I'm saying? Because as speaking from experience, it's difficult when you transition late in life. You know, you think of different things. And as a trans woman that transitioned from male to female later in life, you know, and you can get the perspective of my husband in season 2 when he comes on, because he can give you the real nitty gritty of that, of the other spectrum, you know. But for a trans woman,
No.
but for a trans woman, transitioning late in life, exactly what you said, you know, you think of as you get older, when you hit a certain age, the bone structure no longer changes in your body. And before we were allowed the ability to medically transition with the support of medical insurance, it was like, well, if I transition later in life, I have to pay these surgeries out of pocket. You know, so you think about the 5 o'clock shadow, you think about all the makeup you have to buy. And then, you know, transitioning, my doctor told me something when I transitioned, and it's so true. You know, transitioning is like another puberty. You go through another life change. You know, like I literally was, in the beginning of my transition, I owned 2 pairs of Jordans and 75 pairs of stilettos.
Self Jordan.
You know, it was
not
not ladylike to wear sneakers. You know, it was ladylike to wear dresses and pumps, and, you know, the hair had to be done and polished. And then I realized that was part of, you know, puberty. That was part of a process that I had to go through. You know, a process that I had to go through.
That's my new
Funny you said that.
Oh,
that's
see?
That's gonna be my podcast, and I didn't want to
You
say it.
see?
But
Yeah,
That's
you
funny
know,
said that.
it's a process. And if I leave your viewers with anything, it's that there's no cookie cutter mold to anyone. Trans, non-binary, cisgender. There's no cookie cutter mold of how a person should be. Accept me for who I am. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to accept me, but you have to respect me.
yes.
And I'm not going to demand the respect from you because this is going back to, this is what I wanted to say. Bam, you see things flow for a reason. It follows a harm reduction model, as you was talking about earlier. A harm reduction model is meeting a person where they're at, right? You can give a person as many tools and as many services as you want. Keyword, you want. Just like you could take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
If the person is not ready to receive that gift or that information,
Meet them where they
it will fall upon deaf ears. Don't leave them where they're at. You leave them with the information, but you meet them where they're at. Listen, you want to keep getting high? Baby, come here. I'm going to take you over here where you're going to get high. They're going to give you some fresh needles. They're going to make sure you're okay. And if God forbid you OD, they're going to bring you back, okay?
Share the
And they're
information.
going to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Meet a person where they're at. Listen, if you still, a person, we talk about homelessness. I want to also shed some light on some people, and I've learned this from being in the shelter system before I got my apartment that I've been in for almost 10 years. Sometimes a person is comfortable there. Sometimes a person is not ready for the responsibility of bills, of managing their money, of wondering where their meals are coming from or how they're going to prepare their meals. Sometimes a person is limited to certain things, and we need to understand that. Like I posted something recently on Facebook because I was on the bus, and this lady was getting off the bus with her sons, and you can tell she was an elderly woman, very, very elderly, very frail.
Mm-hmm.
The bus driver opened the ramp so the lady wouldn't have to climb down.
Oh.
And her sons held her on each side, and they got her off the bus and they started walking to her appointment. And there was 2 men on the bus, and they would do nothing but berate them, not to their face, but on the bus. What the fuck? If that was my mother, she wouldn't be on the bus. She would be on accessible ride. We would do this. And at the end of the day, you don't know what a person's situation is. You don't know where their limitations are. You don't know the opportunities that are afforded to them.
Right.
And you don't know if they've been educated on that. As a society, we are so fucking quick to be so judgmental. And it's not easy to break that. Okay, I want to be very frank. It's not easy to break that. But little by little, we could disseminate that.
Okay.
So that eventually we don't need trainings on cultural competency,
Hello.
on gender sensitivity. It will just be a thing of the past.
Well, common love and courtesy and mind your
Human sensitivity.
mind your damn business. We had a great show today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Skittles, you can lead us out. Join us next week for the Come Out Talk Show for our special guest host. But guess who's going to be the lead host next week? Ding! So y'all stuck with him. And I'm sure he'll make it magical and special. And I will take the hot seat. Join us at 8 p.m. next week. And we'll go until I guess I finish talking. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show with our special guest, Lailani, her husband in the audience, Sebastian, Skittles, your king, Clee, Trell, and I am your host, Pink Princess. We will end with our theme song, Feel the Energy by Katnip and Emmi. Have a safe week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Playing from Moto G Stylus 5G.
I guess
heartaches. I've been to hell. I've done my best and my worst, learned my lessons. No matter how hard my life would treat me, I'd always get right back up, never worry. Cause I got a million reasons to keep holding on. Yeah, I got all that it takes to win and overcome. But I got it's just a feeling, but it's so strong. It goes on and on. There's something going on inside of me. I feel it growing stronger every beat. I never just believe in what I see. Cause I can feel the energy. Cause I can feel the energy. I've been my demons one too many times. They taught me lows are what makes you feel so high. No matter how far my mind would wander, I'd always dare it to go even farther. Cause I got a million reasons to keep holding on. Yeah, I got all that it takes to win and overcome. What I got is just a feeling, but it's so strong. It goes on and on and on. There's something going on inside of me. I feel it growing stronger every beat. I never just believe in what I see. Cause I can feel the
Wow. Give my way there.
I can feel it, I feel it, yeah. I believe it, yeah. There's something going on inside of me.